Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Saman here, your grammar teacher. Today we are going to see effectiveness of a teacher. This is a topic that I have taken in communication skills. In my previous lecture, I told you about the methodologies that that a teacher can apply in the class to make the class effective. Now today we are going to see that if the teacher herself is not effective, if she is not creative, if she is not innovative or communicative, then she cannot take her class effectively. So because teacher plays a very major role in the class, the students, they take their teacher as a role model. And teaching is a profession that it's a very sacred profession. It's a profession of a holy prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Therefore it demands your full 100%, or you have to do the justice with this profession, because it is a very sacred profession, and this is a profession where you have to give your whole heart into it, because teaching is very effective, and you are not going to train one mind, you are going to train a lot of minds. A lot of students are under your control which are going to opt some profession in the future, and they are going to remember the teacher, especially the teachers of the primary wing or the kindergarten. These teachers are remembered, or the teachers who are very polite, or the teachers who are very good with the students, who use different strategies with the students in order to make active in the class. These teachers are always remembered by the students. So your personality should be like that. You have to train the students, and you have to cast your impact on them, so that they listen you, or they enjoy the class. So teaching is, and secondly, nowadays teaching is very difficult. It is not just like that at 8 o'clock you come to school and then at 2 o'clock you leave the school. It is not like that. You have to give your whole 100%, or your whole potential. You have to immerse yourself in that profession in order to be an excellent teacher. I came across these lines. These are the lines that I have taken. These are pasted on the cabin of the pilot, and it is: flying is a serious profession. Please leave your worries behind. I want to rephrase this phrase as: teaching is a serious profession. Please leave your worries behind. Because if your mind is already occupied with different thoughts, definitely we all are having tests and trials in our life, and there is no perfection in life. Everyone is going through ups and downs. So, but the thing is that if you have opted that profession, if you are in the teaching profession, then you have to leave your worries behind. Once you get inside the school, you have to leave everything outside. You will see the outer world before. We cannot separate our definitely our other worries or the task, but as soon as you are in school, you must leave your worries behind, so that you are mentally fresh and you can focus on your profession. So that's why it is said that teaching is a very serious profession. A good teacher is like a candle, it consumes itself to light the ways for other. So if you yourself are not ignited, then definitely you cannot ignite the other souls. So you need to be very much diligent, you need to be very much determined, you need to be very much hardworking in order to enlighten the other souls. Because you know that we are living in a technological era, and just after that, after some era, there a time is going to come when all the jobs will be taken away by automation. Artificial intelligence is going to take all the jobs. Only those jobs will be left which are creative, and teaching is one of the creative job. So that's why teaching demands your 100%. Teaching demands your full justice to your profession. There is an organization called Gallup organization, and this is an organization that tends to study the relationship of employees with their organization, and they have categorized three employees in any organization. It's not only about the school. In any organization, there are three types of employees. One is engaged employees, not engaged employees, or actively disengaged employees. One by one, I'm going to tell you about them, and you can do your self analysis that in which category do you fall in. First is engaged employees. Engaged employees, as the name is suggesting you, that these are the employees They are very happy employees. They give their full potential in their profession, and they love to do work. They are the happiest people. They wake up early in the morning. They love their job. They do their task. They come up with innovative ideas. They do everything very diligently, and they are very determined with and very professional with their jobs. So they are the engaged employees, and they are the percentage they have given is, or the percentage they get after the survey is 9 to 12%. It means that out of 100, only 9 to 12 people are there who come in the category of engaged employees. They give their 100% to their profession. The next is not engaged or disengaged employees. Disengaged employees are those that they daily come to their organization. They do that work because they don't have any other thing to do at home. Maybe they have the loan to pay. Maybe they have to give the rent, or maybe they have nothing to do at home, or somebody tells them to please go and do some work, so they are doing the job. So they are called the disengaged employees. They are not interested in anyone. They are called the harmless people because they don't have any concern that whatever somebody is doing or not. They don't have this you can say they don't have this set of mind that they have to improve their self, or they have to move forward, they have to compete with the others. They don't have such kind of thoughts. So that's why they are called the harmless people. They just do their job and they just go with the flow. They are called disengaged employees, and the number is, the percentage is 60%. There are 60 out of 100 people. There are 60 people who fall in this category, that they just go with the flow. They just come to work, do their job, and just go back. They don't have any good thoughts, or you can say that they don't come up with the innovative ideas in order to, and they don't want to improve themselves. This is the main thing of the disengaged employees. And the last is actively disengaged employees. Now, see, the name itself is suggesting you it is actively and then disengaged also. It means that these are the one who always pretend that they are the one who can do everything, and they are the one, because of them the organization is running. And whenever they are in a meeting, they always raise their hand. They come up with the ideas, and they take everything on themselves that they can do it. But as soon as they leave the meeting room, they always talk bad about the organization. They always have some negative thoughts, and the harmful thing is that they also convince the other people that the organization is not good. They always find the flaws in each and everything. Whatever you tell them, they are always going to complain about the things. So they are called the disengaged employees. So these are the three categories. So you must analyze yourself that in which category do you fall in. And hope so. The teaching is a profession that demands the engaged employees. You should come up with a very good ideas. You should be very creative. That's how you can excel in your profession. If you really want to excel in your profession, then you have to immerse yourself in that profession, and that's how you can improve yourself, and and your students are going to be benefited from you. Okay, now this is about the professional DNA. One DNA, you already know, the biological DNA we all are having. We know that this is the DNA we get from our parents. And professional DNA is not taught in any school. You have to develop it by yourself. And what is professional DNA? Professional DNA is, if you have the time management skill, if you have the working ability skill, if you have the learning skill, if you have the leadership skill, then these are the things that makes the component of professional DNA. And these are the components that are very important in any profession. It's not only the teacher. You are a surgeon, you are a doctor, you are a banker, you are an architect. In any profession, you need to have this professional DNA. And professional DNA, those people who are having the professional DNA, if they are given an entirely new situation, they are going to opt that task. For example, if you if there is a teacher and she is given a new job of a banking, she doesn't know accounting, she has not learned anything, her degrees are not according to that profession, but she is, if she is having the professional DNA, she is having the ability to learn, the ability to uh, the ability of the time management, or these, if she is going to have these components of the professional DNA, then she is going to compete in that a new job, and she is going to be successful in that. So professional DNA is very important. It doesn't matter that you have if I tell you about the teaching, then it doesn't matter that you have studied it by yourself. Now you have the ability, now you are capable of learning, you should be having that ability to learn more, to improve yourself. So if you are going to improve yourself, if you have this capability, then you are going to excel in any profession you are in. So professional DNA is very important in teachers, because this is a thing that is going to make them stand out in their profession. So this is all about the effectiveness of teacher. So if you want to use different methodologies that I told you before as well. If you are going to take these methodologies in your class along with your effectiveness, then you are going to make your profession, then you are going to do justice with your profession. Okay, thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.